I've been single for about 10 seconds and I'm already feeling the pressure to date.
Women.
And I don't like that. As much as we're seeing all this stuff about, empowerment, being single, I feel that being single is like the last thing people want to be. Everyone's chasing the next thrill. It's just a cycle of dump and move on to the next.
Nick, here's why you fail.
Are you what I'm looking for? Are you good enough for me? Are you going to add value to my life? That was never where I was at. Before that, I would show up on dates like, am I good enough for you? Are they going to like me? Am I wearing the right thing? Am I saying the right thing? Am I going to do the right things?
Ironic.
Settling will set you back years. Years. I was 25 years old. I wanted to get engaged. I wanted to get married. I wanted to have a baby. All my friends were engaged, married, or had a baby. I had a plan set.
It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off.
At 25, I got married. By 28, I was divorced.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. I'm so glad to have you here joining me and Ampu. As today, guys, we got quite an episode. We got this first woman here, not willing to settle, at least not willing to settle before she's 70. We'll take it from there. And then we have a grandma. We have somebody's grandmother on the dating app, so she's going to tell us about her story. So let's get started, gentlemen. As always, leave me your comments and all your thoughts down below. Sometimes I read through the comments, guys, and I just laugh so much. You have a beautiful sense of humor. But now let's get started.
Settling will set you back years. Years.
Just before we continue, so the caption, someone wrote, trying to stay strong and not settle. I left for a reason, I have to remember that. And so this woman replies.
I was 25 years old. I wanted to get engaged. I wanted to get married. I wanted to have a baby. All my friends were engaged, married, or had a baby. I had a plan set. At 25, I got married. By 28, I was divorced. Like I said, I had a plan set up for my life for what I wanted because I was envious of what other people had. And that plan led me to the biggest heartache that I've ever felt in my life because I thought I knew what I wanted. Please do not settle. Ask.
All right, so when are you going to know what exactly do you want? You thought you wanted something at 25, it didn't turn out to be what you wanted. When are you going to find out? You're already in your 30s. When? 40, at 50, when are you going to have children? Guys, it's not the secret of the universe, right? These women are trying to find. It's not some extremely hard mathematical equation that they need to solve. It's easy. I mean, how is it possible that women throughout millennia have known what they wanted and have made families, yet it's in the last 20 to 30 years that women have lost all reason as to what they want from life? And it's so hard to find that answer that they have to wait until they're 60 to find out. I don't think it's a problem that has existed or that is something hard. I don't think you need to be a wise 90-year-old person with experience to figure out this. The problem, guys, is not that they don't know what they want, it's that they can't keep what they want. That is the problem. Instead of blaming themselves and taking some accountability, like, hey, maybe I wanted the right thing, it's just I didn't select a good partner or I wasn't ready. No, it's just, oh, if there is any slight inconvenience in my marriage, oh, this is not for me, let's just throw it out and get something else. It's the same with kids. Nobody knows how to be the exact perfect parent that knows everything and is perfect all the time. No, you just learn with experience, you go along. But what makes you better yourself is that you try to understand your child, try to make a bond. Wish you'd apply that to marriage. But when you get in a marriage, nobody knows. Nobody has had any experience before your first marriage, right? It's just you stick to the other person, you move along, hand by hand. You try to teach the other person how to get to know you. You try to better yourself. You learn from him. He learns from you, etc. How a marriage should work. It's never perfect. You know, it's, let's say it's perfect with its imperfections, a healthy marriage. You learn along the way. The thing that makes you stay is just stick to your vows. And eventually you'll come out of it, alright? It's not impossible. It shouldn't be hard. It's not rocket science. But these women, guys, they just don't have the ability to keep a man. They don't have the ability to face problems. And so they blame something else.
Ask God, get really quiet, and the answer will be revealed to you.
And I always love when they mention God. While at the same time having no idea what God wants. Let's talk about God, right? What God wants is, what God says rather, is there are only two reasons to divorce. Either your partner passes away, you no longer stick to your vows because there's no one to stick, to your vows for. He's not on earth anymore. And second reason, cheating. Okay, when the other person cheats, he's made a connection with someone else. He's not being loyal to your union, so you can divorce. The only two reasons. All right. Do you think that this woman divorced because the other person cheated, or what, or literally, just passed away? No, guys. She left him because he wanted something more. It was not working out. She probably cited the reason for divorce to be irreconcilable differences. The spark was gone and all that nonsense. These women, man, that speak about God, look, I'm no one to tell you to not speak about God, but I think that have some decency and know what you're talking about. Don't just throw in words randomly while having no idea what you're speaking of.
I've been single for about 10 seconds and I'm already feeling the pressure to date. And I don't like that. As much as we're seeing all this stuff about, empowerment, being single, I feel that being single is like the last thing people want to be. Everyone's chasing the next thrill. It's just a cycle of dump and move on to the next. Just so we're not alone for a second.
Yeah, guys, these empowered women, they do not exist, alright? What they call boss babes, they literally don't exist. It's just pretend. As we've seen many times, women who say that they are empowered and they have their own money, they always expect the man to pay the date. They always want someone to come in and pay the bills, right? And these women that say, oh, I don't need no man, they are just like dessert. I just want them. I don't need them. Yeah, they cry themselves to sleep every night because they feel lonely. There are no empowered women. It's just a myth. They don't exist.
And I'm trying to step out of it and be alone. I'm not participating in cuffing season this winter. None of this is meant to be taken in like a man-hating way. I just don't want to rush into anything, even like a talking stage. Peace and solitude, guys. And that's the vibe right now.
Yeah, before we move on, it's a little too late. Even though you're in your early 20s, it's already late, madam. I'll never understand why they need to go through 30 hookups, 4 months of situationships, and 76 talking stages. Finally realize that it's not the way to approach dating. And then they say, I'm not going to do it anymore. And they still do. But even in a scenario where they actually stopped with that toxic behavior, it's too late. And you can't just screw everything up. You can't just crap on the carpet and then say, well, you know what, I'm not going to do it again. It serves no purpose. You've already done it. The carpet is already full of crap. You've already done what you've done. You cannot just simply, clap your hands and all right, it's in the past. No, the past stays. The past represents your future. The past is telling of the decisions that you will make in the future, the person you're going to be in the future. Right? And yes, some people do change and can change, but that doesn't mean that we can simply just eliminate these women's dating history from our minds. Oh yes, because she can change, I'm going to just forget about the last 20 years she's been pumped and dumped by every chat in the neighborhood.
Vibe right now.
Are you what I'm looking for? Are you good enough for me? Are you going to add value to my life? that was never where I was at. Before that, I would show up on dates like, am I good enough for you? Are they going to like me? Am I wearing the right thing? Am I saying the right thing? Am I going to do the right things?
Yeah, I really like this video. It's really telling on how women will behave. Most women, anyway, not all women. But most women, especially on dating apps, they behave like this. They're younger, they're in their best years. What they do is they give themselves for free. Not to the normies, okay, we should already know this, right? We're not talking about the average Joe. If these women, guys, if these women went to a decent man with this attitude of, am I going to be valuable in his eyes? Is he going to like me? Is he going to appreciate my beauty? You know, I dressed up for him. Am I going to be pleasant to him? If these women had this attitude with a decent man, they will be married by now, all right? Because every decent man is looking for a decent woman. So she's not done that with those sort of guys. She's done that with chads that don't care about you, man. They don't care about what effort you put or what effort you don't put. They only care about what's between your legs. They don't even care about your name, your history, your life, what you like, what you don't like. They want to get between your legs. For them, you are an S3X doll. I'm not saying that to be cold or harsh. No, it's literally the reality. They see you as an S3X doll. They see you as a recreational toy, and they just want to spend 20 minutes having fun. It doesn't matter to them if it's you or someone else. They have multiple options. You're just a side dish on the menu. That's what you are. And to those men, you give all this effort. Oh, I'm going to dress up for them because I'm chasing the validation, because I need those men to show me attention. So I'm going to dismiss all the good men, all the decent guys, all the nice guys. I'm going to go for the clearly red flag who wants nothing more out of me than just my body. And I'm going to, you know, just give myself to him, my heart, my mind. I'm going to think and speak about him for 4 months at a time. You know, they give out everything to that guy. And later, when they're already older, and they're not in their best years, not in their best looks, not in their best psychological capabilities and state of mind, then they expect some random guy that doesn't even know them to, on the first date, be Prince Charming and tell them that he's going to be devoted to them. It's just so backwards. It's so ironic, guys, that these women behave this way. No, I'm not going to just step in and pay full price for a used car that people have used for free in the past. It's like, can you picture it, guys? Like a Ferrari being given out for free to 40 people to drive around for months at a time, and then 10 years later, that Ferrari is sold to you at full price. Because that Ferrari now knows its worth and now knows for whom to look for. Like, get out of here, man. We're not doing that. Men have wisened up. We're not simps. We're not gonna do that. Never, never, ever. This is why these women have no options. This is what we call the wall. You've hit the wall. You've had your chance at meeting a decent guy, a good guy. You didn't take it. And now you've hit the wall. Now your looks are not getting you so far as to be with the chads. And the only two options you have is either go for the simps, which you'll never do because you don't respect them, or have an attempt at the decent men. But the decent men, the decent men are not going to take you in. So essentially, they're left out alone.
And that's not a good place to be when you're trying to find your ideal partner. So when I started getting into the dating world after that divorce, all of that work that I was doing internally was showing up in mindset shifts. I was able to just have a completely different perspective. And I knew that I was never going to settle because I knew what happened when I did. When I settled in relationships, the result I was getting was shitty relationships and divorce. And I knew I didn't want to do that again. So I knew I had to do that work to figure out who I was, to like myself.
Yeah, pause it right there. So it's really interesting how this woman has gone with one char. He has pumped and dumped her, and then instead of saying I'll never settle for that again, no, she goes for another char, another one, and another one. And these women, guys, they chase char for 10 years. repeating the same thing over and over without getting a different result. Just insanity. And they have no problem with it. But the moment they get in an actual marriage and things don't work out, oh, I'm gonna divorce him and not settle for that ever again. It's like, where is the logic? So you take in Chads when they behave in the exact same manner. You take multiple of them throughout a period of multiple years and you don't care. Yet when you step into one marriage and there's problems, instead of trying to fix it and trying to stay there in the same way that you've stayed in the situationships and hookup phases for years, what you do is you leave a few months after the problems arise. Just doesn't make any sense.
To accept myself, to forgive myself for all the mistakes I made and all the bad choices that I made, to try to find the silver linings in everything that I had gone through and to figure out how those can benefit me moving forward.
So she mentioned this a few seconds ago, but she said, I need to forgive myself. Wait a minute, you haven't blamed yourself to get to the point where you forgive yourself. How convenient, isn't it, guys? It's like I beat some child on the street and I move from doing the bad thing to forgiving myself the very next moment. You know, it's like I steal from my grandmother and I go from stealing to, oh, I need to forgive myself. Hey, when does the moment come where you put some accountability on yourself and you go to sleep thinking about what you've done and thinking about your mistakes and putting some blame on yourself?
To find the wisdom in all of the shit that I had experienced so that I can empower myself moving forward. Doing all that work helped me get to know myself and love myself.
Okay, friends.
Yeah, before we move on to the grandma, all these words, guys, I need to empower myself, I need to heal myself, they've just lost all meaning. Like, literally means nothing. Because it is just, I never see these women actually succeeding. You know, guys, I've never seen it. I've never seen a woman talking about healing who actually heals, a woman talking about empowerment who actually gets better in life. No, they just, they hit the wall at 30, and they spend from 30 to 60 whining and complaining about the same things and talking about, oh, I'm healing myself. The process never ends because it never started. But now let's go to the point where they are 60. Right here we have this woman. She's probably been yapping the last 30 years about healing journeys and stuff. So let's see where she's at now.
Friend, my bestie. Another story, another dating story tonight. The Toothless Guy. So I'm talking to this guy online. That's how I met all these men. It was online. He invites me to sushi, so I'm thinking, okay, well, that's a lot better than the Golden Corral. So I love sushi. I'll go to sushi. So I go to this little sushi place, and I'm looking around, and a man stands up out, on the other side to wave to me. I'm like, oh, that must be him. And he was like in a full-on suit, 3-piece suit. But the problem was it was like 3 sizes too big for him. And honestly, it looked like he got it from the Salvation Army. Let's not lie. Immediately was put off, but forging past that, because it was sushi, right? As I get closer to him, he smiles at me, this big smile, and he is missing a tooth. I'm not talking about any tooth. I'm talking about one of his front teeth. The front tooth. He's missing.
So I just remembered this is a video that Taylor actually covered. I watched that video, so sorry gentlemen if you've already seen it. Maybe you'd be interested in my take, but sorry for watching the same content twice. It's just recently me and Taylor have been just covering videos left, right and center, random videos, and we sometimes cover the same video without knowing. So sorry for that gentlemen, but I hope you found at least the first part entertaining, and I'd be happy if you stick around to share this story with me.
I understand we all have dental problems at times. I get that. But don't you think that you would wait and fix your tooth before you go out with a woman? How do you dare show up to dinner with a woman you don't know, who you're supposedly trying to impress, missing a tooth? Right away, you're not my people. Right away. Like, immediately no. Immediately no.
I just hate the entitlement. You know, I'm not gonna lie. Missing a tooth, not the most attractive thing in a person. I get that, but it's just the entitlement. Like, who are you to talk like this to a man? That, hey, man, that man probably could have lost his tooth in a fight that he didn't start. He probably has had an accident, maybe. You know, that, like, there's maybe something going on. And who are you be demanding of him that when you look like this? When you look 60 years old or 70, I don't even know. I think 60. You know, it's like you still want the Prince Charming. You still want the guy in a suit, you know, giving you a bouquet of flowers when you meet, just taking the chair for you, doing all those things. They still want the Prince Charming treatment. Are we getting the princess treatment? You know, you want us to be a prince. Are you a princess? Like, it must be both ways, you know, and I'm a firm believer that men always put more effort into these things. You know, men do the chasing, men have to impress women, all those things, yes, but damn it, you know, give something back, madam. You can't just show around with your 60-year-old ass and expect a man to be Prince Charming. And oh, he's missing a tooth, what a problem. Well, I don't know, act kind and then don't talk to him again if it's such a big problem. But then, for you at your age to be acting like you deserve Prince Charming, go to hell.
But I push on to have a California roll, okay? So I sit down. He starts showing me his grandkids. Okay, guys, if you're listening, we don't want to see your grandchildren right now. We've just met you. We've just sat down to have dinner. Don't whip out the phone and start showing pictures of your family. Like, we don't care right now. We're just trying to see if we can stand to be in your presence right now. That's all that's happening right now. We're trying to see if there's some mutual attraction, maybe some mutual commonality. That's all that's going on here right now. We don't need to be talking about our children, our grandchildren. Okay, so he was doing that. Then somehow the subject came up that me.
I'm gonna pause it before she continues, but look, I'm not 60. I don't know what people at 60 talk about when dating. But I don't know. This guy just seems like a pleasant dude, right? I mean, I find it cute, or, you know, just warm that he's showing you his grandchildren. I know that people tend to be really annoying with their children already, but like, people your age should be happy about that. Like, that is the only joy, or, well, the biggest joy. Sorry, not the only joy, but the biggest joy they have in life. So I think this dude, I don't know, he was looking for something else. Maybe he really was there just to meet you and get to know you. So I don't know, man, like, acting so entitled, so mean, so disrespectful. You're not 20 anymore, alright? I'd find it rather uncomfortable, a 20-year-old talking about her children that she's left at home. I get that that is absolutely stupid and even creepy, but you're 60, like, what are you going to talk about, man? I don't get it.
Me and my best friend were going on a cruise. That I was going on a cruise the next week. Oh, he asked me, what cruise are you going on? I'm telling him. And he says, well, I should go. I'm like, what? Huh? He said, what cruise? Tell me what cruise it is exactly. I should go. We can all hang out. No. That's not happening at all. He proceeded to push and push, let you know what cruise and what flights we were going. Of course, yeah, I'm not stupid. I'm not going to tell him any of those details.
Yeah, so she's right here. I mean, this guy really pushy. I understand him. He was just being friendly. But as a man, guys, like, that's a lesson that you can take away from this. Is just dating at this age not it. It's not it. As a man, as a woman, you try to be friendly, you're just gonna get poked crap about, right? And if you're a woman, just the way you can avoid this is don't be 60 and single. All right, like at this point, madam, you should be making cookies for your grandchildren. That's what you should be doing, not dating around guys who don't have a tooth and are extremely pushy, right? So that's on you. Like making the argument that, oh, the dating pool at 60 is crap. You should be lucky. You should feel lucky that there is a dating pool at 60. You take, you wind the clock a century back, and there were no women dating at 60. No women. There were no women dating at 50 either. And the only women dating at 40 who were widows were extremely desperate to find any guy. They didn't care if he has one tooth missing or one tooth standing, right? Like, this woman should be begging on her knees that there is a guy who happens to be extremely friendly, who can pay some attention to her, because she deserves nothing. The guy, maybe he is not really attractive, hasn't been throughout his life, maybe he has a normal job, he's not really big in the eyes of women, so he just had no chance, or he had no woman interested in him. But for women, guys, they always have options. They always have multiple chances to find that one. And when they don't do, it's a massive red flag.
I just kind of brushed it off and kept trying to deflect, talk about other things. Quickly, this man was on my last nerve. And I was eating my sushi as quick as I could. And I had made a deal with my friend, okay, because by now I had to have some systems in place. So I told my best friend, call me a half an hour into this date. If I'm having fun, I will not answer. If I need to be bailed out, I will answer. Okay. So I'm thinking, call me. So she calls me. Oh, just a minute. I pick up my phone. Okay. I'll be right there. And I don't know how I came up with this. This was not pre-planned. I decided to say that my dog was having a seizure.
And my dog is really having a seizure listening to your stupid stories. So you know what, guys, the video is quite long. There's still a minute left of this woman. I'm gonna cut it right here. I mean, if you want to watch the rest, go to Taylor's channel, but I'm just not gonna make you go through that. For some guys, probably a second time, because let me sum it up for you. She just continues to whine and to be a drama queen. Oh, look at me. I'm so worth it. And look at the guys I'm getting. No, you're not worth it. You should be thankful to God that there is one man who has paid attention to you, because you don't deserve it at that age, madam. You should be doing other things with your life at that age than still trying to find a connection with strange men. And probably he paid the date. Because, guys, it's not worth it with these women. I don't understand why some men are still out there trying to date these women. Either find... Here's my take. You leave me a comment down below and what's yours. But my take is, either find a woman that is worth it when you are young and be with her, create a family with her if you can trust her, if you see that she's worth it, or just leave dating altogether, man. It's not... These women are not worth your resources. They're not worth your time, most than all. They're not even worth your body, guys. But that's my take. What's yours, gentlemen? Leave me a comment down below, and I'll be happy to see you next time. Have a good one.